The chaos begins with a massive, high-stakes heist that leaves the world in complete shock. The legendary Great Pyramid of Giza has been totally yoinked and replaced by a giant inflatables fake. Panic is setting in across the globe as everyone wonders which legendary villain is behind this absolute menace move. Meet Gru, the ultimate main character who is having a seriously wild day in his lair. He is clearly not playing games, flaunting his insane gadgets with absolute main character energy. Gru is the kind of villain who keeps things petty and incredibly dramatic at the same time. His morning starts off with some low-key suburban drama involving a neighbor and his unruly dog. Gru makes it clear he has zero chill for anyone crossing his path, even his own minions. Everything about his vibe is cooked up and ready for total world domination. He tries to ignore the outside world, but those persistent cookie-selling orphans have other plans. Gru tries to pull a fast one with a fake recording, but the girls aren't falling for it. Just when he thinks he is safe, the chaos of his home life starts to boil over. His loyal scientist Dr. Nefario drops the bombshell news that someone else has stolen the pyramid. This new villain is making Gru look like an amateur, and he is clearly not feeling it. It is time for an emergency meeting, and Gru is bringing the whole squad together. The minions are hyped and ready, despite the fact that their boss is visibly losing his cool. Gru tries to downplay the pyramid heist while secretly feeling the pressure of his fading relevance. He shuts down any talk of raises, keeping his tight-fisted villain energy on full display. He boasts about his previous crimes, but they just aren't hitting the same way anymore. Stealing landmarks is his whole personality, but he knows he needs to level up fast. He finally reveals his grand plan, something that will overshadow everything else in the industry. Dr. Nefario is back in the mix, helping him cook up something truly groundbreaking. The shrink ray is the missing piece of the puzzle, and they are moving to secure it. The reveal is absolutely iconic. Gru is going to steal the moon itself. His ambition is insane, but the logistics of this move are looking pretty suspect. Nefario is already crunching the numbers and realizing this plan might be impossible. Gru is delusional enough to think the bank will just hand over the cash for his moon rocket. Meanwhile, the orphan girls return to the orphanage with their sad, low-volume sales report. Miss Hattie is totally brutal to them, keeping the vibes at the orphanage at an all-time low. The pressure is on the girls to meet their quotas or face the dreaded box of shame. The girls are basically living in a nightmare, which is a major contrast to Gru's villain lair. Gru calls his mom for validation, but she is busy being the ultimate emotional gatekeeper. He tries to convince her he is about to become a legend, but she barely cares. His desire for his mother's approval is his biggest low-key weakness. She hangs up on him, leaving Gru to deal with his fragile ego on his own. He arrives at the Bank of Evil, ready to pitch his moon heist to the big boss. Even in the bank, he is still obsessed with his childhood dream of going to space. His mom's flashback highlights exactly why he is so driven to prove everyone wrong. He runs into the new kid on the block, Vector, who is absolute peak cringe. Vector is clearly the Gen Z villain archetype, flexing his math-themed brand identity everywhere. Vector shows off his ridiculous piranha gun like it is actually impressive. The demo fails miserably, making Vector look even more cooked than Gru first thought. The tension rises as Gru finally gets into the room with Mr. Perkins to ask for the funds. He makes his big pitch for the moon rocket, but Perkins is having none of it. Perkins demands to see the shrink ray before he even thinks about opening the vault. The meeting goes south fast once Perkins realizes Gru is empty-handed. Perkins calls him out on his lackluster recent performance and lack of ROI. The visual threat of the apple is a classic power move that puts Gru in his place. Perkins keeps rubbing it in that Vector is basically replacing him as the top villain. The news of the pyramid theft really is the ultimate dagger to Gru's pride. Gru leaves the meeting with nothing but a grudge and a new, desperate mission. He manages to swipe the shrink ray in a high-speed, high-stakes mission. They actually pull off the heist, and the energy in the air is electric. Vector shows up to ruin the moment, playing it cool while he steals the ray right back. Vector is being absolutely savage, mocking Gru while he makes his getaway. Gru and his minions go into full pursuit mode, chasing Vector across the desert. The chase scene is pure adrenaline, with gadgets and missiles flying everywhere. They are locked in, ready to bring down Vector and reclaim their ticket to the moon. Vector continues to dodge their attacks with the most annoying, smug confidence ever. Gru is pulling out all the stops, but Vector is just too agile for them. The minions are closing in, but things are about to take a turn for the weird. Vector uses his own tech to turn the tables in a truly unexpected and hilarious way. Gru is completely caught off guard as the situation becomes physically claustrophobic. Gru is absolutely livid, humiliated by the new villain while his master plan falls apart. The frustration is real, and the stakes for his reputation have never been higher. It is a total disaster, and his path to the moon just got a whole lot harder. Gru's desperate attempts to recover the situation are failing at every single turn. The tech is malfunctioning, and Gru is stuck in a tiny, embarrassing mess. The episode ends with Gru defeated and meeting a new, devious plan to get back on top. Deep down, the drama of the night is only just beginning for our favorite villain. The orphans start their night with a prayer that honestly feels a bit low-key cursed. Agnes is literally manifesting a pet unicorn because her main character energy is just built different. The girls go full musical mode, but the vibe check gets ruined when they run into an actual threat. The girls try to sell cookies to a random guy, but he shuts them down with zero chill. Gru has a light bulb moment and decides to weaponize those cookies into tiny robots. He hits up Dr. Nefario to cook up some chaos, but the communication is honestly tragic. Gru is straight up lying about his resume to get approved for the adoption process. The minions are losing their minds in the background, creating absolute chaos during the meeting. Things get wild and someone starts a full-on brawl in the middle of the office. Gru pivots to his fake backstory about being a lonely dentist whose heart is just a giant cavity. Gru tries to keep his cover, but the whole interaction is just plain awkward and cringy. The girls are delusional about their future home, imagining literal gummy bear houses. Agnes hits Gru with the hard questions, and he is clearly not prepared for this interrogation. The orphanage boss officially dumps the girls onto Gru, marking a major turning point. Agnes clings to Gru like a barnacle, and his reaction is pure annoyance. Gru tries to pry her off, but he is low-key losing the battle of strength. He is literally looking for a non-stick spray or a tool to get the kid off his leg. Back at the lair, he hits Vector with the shrink ray, showing who is truly in charge. Gru is plotting absolute destruction, but the girls are about to ruin his workflow. He finds a tiny toilet for a tiny baby, and it is a weirdly specific moment of frustration. They arrive at the lair, and the girls realize this house is totally not what they signed up for. Agnes tries to get close, but Gru has zero space for feelings or touch. He introduces them to Kyle, his nightmare of a dog, in the most hostile way possible. Agnes completely ignores the danger and thinks the terrifying beast is just a fluffy toy. Gru is panicked because his secret base is clearly not kid-proofed at all. One of the girls already manages to mess up his tech with a juice box catastrophe. Gru establishes the rules, but Agnes is clearly going to be a problem child. Agnes already found something she should not have, and Gru is losing his cool. The list of rules is basically a checklist for everything kids love doing. Edith hits him with the ultimate troll move, making his blood pressure skyrocket. Margot tries to keep the vibe positive, but the lair is literally built for evil, not childhood. Agnes finds the cookie robots and starts acting like she is in a music video. She starts roasting the minions, and it is honestly a legendary moment. They find the TV and start treat it like it is the greatest invention ever. Margot is starting to piece together that Gru is not actually a dentist. They stumble onto his real work, and things get messy fast. Gru is panicked because he is surrounded by dangerous, unstable science. The minions messed up his order, and he is just having the worst day ever. He shows off the bots, not realizing the girls are basically an infinite variable of trouble. Gru catches them snooping and goes full-blown drill sergeant on them. He uses the classic threat to keep them away from his dangerous chemicals. He tries to pivot back to his fake dentist story, but it is super weak. Agnes touches something she really shouldn't, and the tension is peaking. Agnes realizes her toy is destroyed, and the situation becomes a total emergency. Gru treats the toy like it is unimportant, but he has no idea what is coming. She decides to pull a silent protest, and it is honestly kind of terrifying. The girls have weaponized their cuteness to get exactly what they want. Gru breaks and agrees to fix the unicorn, officially losing the standoff. He orders the minions to drop everything and go on a mission for a toy. He tries to pass off the minions as his relatives, which is a wild move. He just wants to be left alone, but the girls are invading his personal space. He tries to tuck them in as fast as possible to get back to his evil life. Margot shuts him down with that truth bomb, but Gru handles it with cold efficiency. He reveals the beds are made of explosives, which is just peak chaotic parenting. The instructions for the beds are literally life or death, and the girls find it cool. They keep pushing his buttons, asking for a story when he just wants to plot world domination. He shuts down the story idea, but the girls are persistent as hell. His bedtime story is basically a horror movie plot for toddlers. He tries to scare them away, but the girls are literally unbothered. He keeps dropping dark facts, but the girls just vibe with it. Agnes ignores his negativity and thinks his dark lair is gorgeous. It is finally time for the mission, but they have a schedule to keep. The moon begins growing back to its massive size, creating total mayhem. Gravity is shifting, and the ship is caught in the middle of the wreckage. Gru realizes the girls are in danger and forces them to take a leap of faith. It is a high-stakes rescue mission where Gru finally picks family over the heist. Gru catches Margot, and it is a total character development moment for the ages. The moon returns to the sky, and Gru becomes the secret hero nobody expected. Back at home, the vibes are wholesome, and the girls demand a new story. Gru decides to flex his creative side and writes his own custom bedtime story. He is clearly hyped about his own writing, showing off his dad energy. The story reflects how much he has grown to love the three girls. The ending is pure feels, and Gru has officially entered his best dad era. Even the mother approves, acknowledging Gru is actually crushing this parenting thing. Gru is glowing, knowing he made the right choice to keep his new family. He keeps the grind going with his minions, but with a whole new purpose. Everything is balanced as he embraces his life as a hero and a dad. That is the end of the journey for our favorite villain turned hero. If you loved this recap, make sure to smash that like button. Drop a comment if you think Gru is the best dad in movie history. Subscribe and hit that bell to stay updated on all our cinematic breakdowns. We are dropping new content weekly so you never miss a vibe. Peace.